The news summary, good evening. Two men are under arrest tonight as murder detectives investigate the killing of a man from Rosh Kaima. The decomposing body of 37-year-old Bernie Apasami was found in a disused house at Bougainville yesterday. He hadn't been seen since September 11th and was reported missing on Tuesday last week. The men arrested are 45-year-old from Ansopin and another aged 43 from Lignol. They've been remanded in custody while police continue what they say is an ongoing investigation. There was a fire in an office at the National Assembly building last night. Fortunately, the fire destroyed only an air-conditioned system. A security officer of the National Assembly contacted the management of the Assembly after seeing water overflowing in the building. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Roger Mancienne, says it was a small fire. However, water sprinklers caused some damages to the building.
From what I understand from the fire services, which started with an electric short or sparking in an air conditioner, which caused a small fire, which set off the sprinkler system in the building. The sprinkler system itself was effective in the sense that it put out the fire. But then the water, which continued to flow for quite a while, ended up causing a major flooding problem in the building, and this is where most of the impact is from. Now, in terms of what is important for us, we have done the necessary inspection today, and we have a number of reports back from the agencies who inspected the situation, and we have begun to assess the damage. We know there is damage to the flooring because of the water. We know there is some damage to the equipment, some of the equipment that we use in the chamber, but also perhaps some of the communications equipment that we need to transmit assembly proceedings, for instance. So this kind of damage still remains to be assessed, and it will take us another couple of days before we have a final countdown, but we are also seeing what we need to do to get the assembly back in full order so that we can continue functioning. On this point, perhaps we will be able to give further information in the next 2 days. But finally, I would like to thank everyone who has assisted us, the security personnel who gave the alert very fast, the services, fire brigade and PUC, who responded quickly to assist us, and also the personnel of the SPDF, who helped us in cleaning and putting things in order today, and finally our own staff, who did a lot of work today to get things back in order.
And as I was saying before, the police is continuing its investigation in the death of Bernie Apasami. Let's take a look at the details of their investigation.
Initially, we were looking at an abduction case, but yesterday we confirmed that it was in fact a murder case. What led our officers to that particular place is effectively all the information, evidence collected along the way during the course of the investigation.
Are you expecting to make more arrests?
It will all depend on the investigation. If there's any other evidence to be collected.
Was Mr. Apasami, in your view, murdered at the location where he was found, or he was brought there after death?
It is yet to establish, but we feel it could have happened there.
Can you give us some idea as to what your thinking is as to what may have happened?
We don't exactly know. This is yet to be confirmed or at least established by the, of course, ongoing and final wrapping of the investigation.
As of next week, Seychellois above the age of 12 and who are yet to be vaccinated will be able to take the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine. There will be 4 vaccine stations on Mahé, 1 on Pralin and 1 on Ladig. A selected group of people will be receiving a 3rd dose of the vaccine. Dr. Sanjeev Pugazendi, who is a member of the Technical Working Group on COVID-19, gave out this information during a press conference this afternoon.
From next week, we will be expanding the Pfizer vaccine access to any Seychellois citizen from age 12 onwards who has not taken any other vaccine. Based on our assessment of evidence to date, both global and local research, we've made a decision to offer 3rd doses to certain vulnerable population groups, namely dialysis patients and oncology patients, as well as residents of the Northeast Point complex, which includes the Northeast Point Hospital, the elderly home, and 1 other facility. The initial phase of our rollout campaign for the Pfizer vaccine has gone to our satisfaction. We have vaccinated just over half of adolescents aged 12 to 17, which was the aim of the vaccination. That is a very good uptake for within 1 week. We will continue to offer the vaccine to adolescents who have not had a chance to take the vaccine through their educational institutions or those who are not enrolled in educational institutions.
It is important that member states of the United Nations take action and make collective decisions to guarantee a future where no one is left behind. President Wafa Ramkalawan made this remark in his virtual address at the 76th UN General Assembly. In his address, President Ramkalawan also spoke about the COVID-19 pandemic. He pointed out that it has been nearly 2 years since the outbreak, and the world is still fighting against its terrible and hurtful impact.
The past 2 years have been a stark reminder that the global community has failed to adequately address some of the most pressing issues of our time: effective and equitable access to healthcare, glaring inequalities, climate change and environmental degradation, the arms race, endless conflicts, the plight of refugees, to name but a few. And here we are, the leaders of the world, standing on this platform today to reflect on how to build back better, stronger, and greener. As we enter the 2nd year of the UN Decade of Action, it is imperative that we, as a community of nations, take deliberate, collaborative, and decisive actions to guarantee a future that leaves no one behind. In recalling our commitments to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and related treaties, let us remind ourselves that the most vulnerable people, those living in dire conditions and facing seemingly insurmountable crises, require special attention and help. Indeed, while the pandemic has brought about untold suffering, devastated global health system, severely impacted the world economy and impoverished entire communities, the crisis at hand presents an opportunity to reinvigorate our collective will to bring about positive changes, with emphasis on equitable, sustainable, and inclusive governance.
And that's it for the news summary. We'll be back at 8 for the Creole News Bulletin. Bye-bye for now.